Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of What If Izuku Midoriya Was an Insectacon. Now, since I know for a fact that not a lot of you watched the other one, the Decepticon story, I'm gonna tell you now to watch it. Because I'm not gonna and give you the reasoning behind why shit happened in this way in this part of the series. You're gonna have to watch the prologue for that. But yeah, let's get into it. After the landing of the Autobot ship, the Insectacon, granted, it survived off of small pieces of the ship that no one would really notice gone, and ones that would, they would just think, it's basically decay of the ship. It's getting old. But regardless, it survives. This Insectacon's name is Thrash. And Thrash was cunning, while his siblings were brutal. He knew that Master would want a base of operations before he would come back. A place for him to hide. So, he did that, and did that. So, after the landing of the large ship, shuttle-like ship that landed about, not far, somewhere in Japan. Not far from a mountain, but close enough. Like, everything that happened in last episode happened while this was going on. This Insectacon grabbed the Operation Last Chance crystal and skittered out of the ship's air duct and down the side, skittering and digging deep into the ground, looking for a viable amount of metal. They found it. A place where people are dumping all of these metal bits. It's crazy cool. As well as some other spots, but this, at this point, is like where the most of it is. So, excuse me. So what he did was simple. He dug underneath, began spawning to create more Insectacons. Now, it takes a good couple years. He knows that it's foolish to rush these things. He ended up becoming the hive boss, basically one on top. The strongest one there. Granted, he has stolen Energon from the Autobots before, but they assumed it was a human terroristic group that was running around at the time. But, can't really do much with it. But Decepticons are slowly but surely trickling their way onto the planet. and finding, hey, this is interesting. They're working with these humans? Time to phone in Lord Megatron. So, I'm going to say that Megatron is not far behind his scouts. They know they went in this direction. They're gonna check around here. The other sectors shown signs of them scavenging for excess energon for the ship. And they found it. Just enough to get to this sector. To this exact point, according to Soundwave. So they're looking. They're looking around and they're trying to find something. Anything. And who? They get word back from the scouts. It's going to take a couple years, about 15. Well, not 15. My apologies. About 20 to get there. But everything has a to-do rate, and they're putting along. There ain't in a rush. According to the scouts, they're sitting ducks on this planet. So let's see what we could do. But yeah, Izuku isn't born yet. However, Inko, I'm gonna feel bad doing this to Inko, but experimentation is experimentation. Now, during the years, there's been a insectacon that has been more, well, brought up to, hey, you have to make a body for the boss. Which the insectacon named Shiva, would gladly undergo this task as long as they have the resources. And she thought of this. The insectacon, how do I say, way of doing things. We need covert units. We need a way to hide among these humans. So, simple. She would ask for some books here and there. Not really doing much. When it comes down to what happens next, a random amount of women and men get taken, knocked out by smaller, I believe they were called fucking the smaller insectacons in the group. I'll just say, because I'm too tired to try and think, are they like tiny cons or some shit? I'm tired. But yeah. When it comes down to the process, Shiva is attempting to splice the genes. Well, at least very much trying to make something work. Some lick of oomph. She's trying to get something out of this. It turns out one of the women were already pregnant. Well, actually, two of them. One of them being Inko. The other one being a no-name. That other woman dies so they could learn more about the incubation process of the fetus. And the other one, Inko, that's when the experimentation part hits. When the baby basically gets replaced by this. I'm not gonna lie, she kind of got hooked up to more of a different type of... God, how the fuck do I explain this? Because I've explained it once, I had to delete the video because it wasn't good enough. I believe last time I said it, it was like they were able to make it more of an egg instead of like, you know, a fucking, like how we as humans usually going about childbirth. Which means Inko would eventually, quite literally, lay a fucking egg. Which, I'm gonna say, because of the pain, she does pass out. She doesn't know what's happening. She just knows it fucking hurts. Alright, so when she passes out, that's when it passes. And I'm gonna say, some insectacons were found out by the Autobots on world and killed, which then raised the alarm for not only Decepticons but insectacons, and the fact that they fly the exact same banner that that insectacon that Megatron killed, its banner. So I guess they were trying to leave world, or for some strange reason. Now, regardless of the fact, they need to make a little cut-up team, let's just say. A purge unit. Now, the people that are there are not important. It's what happens that is. The entire hive that they're in kind of gets fucking tossed. Now, what do I mean by tossed? Oh, simple. It's not just like the Autobots there. It is the military. Because they have reason to believe that humans were taken. Why? They don't know. So, during this, they also had humans also combing over the fucking place looking for people. And the only one that would be alive is Inko. Which, I'm going to say in this one, did know that she was expecting. So that's gonna fuck her up. Because she didn't know about the egg. Well, she has like vague, like, did I give birth? But she's like 50-50. I'm like, what the fuck happened? So they don't know. There are signs of, like, when she does get pulled out and most of the Insecticons are killed except for one, which is Shiva basically taking the egg to the final stage of the process that she needed to put versus fucking powers and shit into the egg. She collapsed the cave behind her. And at this point, she has made multiple calculations to assume multiple things. That A, you can technically breed with humans to produce insectacon-esque offspring, such as yourself. Yada, yada, yada. As well as you should be able to transform into your actual fucking robot mode and your humanoid mode, which is not that hard to do. And I'm gonna say, because of Energon, there are people with just like weird metal quirks. Like some babies are born with metal chassis and shit. It's weird. Like, they grow regular. It's just awkward. But, regardless, the last stage is done to the egg. And imbuing the dark energon into it. But there's one thing that Versa did not expect. The egg to not allow his sentience to go through. So, instead of Versa's like sentience, all of his knowledge and shit went through. And since it was a failure, second chance, the energy from the small shard of dark energon breaks. And it all flows into the egg, leaving Versa truly dead. But Izuku's mind, he has memories that he knows is not his. It's of those of his predecessor. But I'm not gonna lie to you, Shiva was heavily injured in the assault. And well, to be honest with you, she went further in, like, laid next to the egg, made a small hollow vid to explain what happened. But, yeah. As that happens, she dies. I'm gonna say they didn't really find any other locations to, like, look for anything. So they just kind of left it, especially behind the wall that who was it? Not Versa, I'm sorry. Shiva put down this, and she accidentally fucking crushed herself with rocks, which is not accurate. It's just not accurate, but okay. Because there was no other life signatures there, so they just kind of proceeded to fucking annihilate the place. And yeah, that's how the hive ends. And Izuku's story begins. I'm gonna say about 2, 3 weeks, the egg hatches. And, it's like weird. Izuku looks like he's 6 when he comes out of the egg. Just more developed. With orange eyes, metalish skin, and other things. Now, Izuku still has that, like, insignia of the Insectacon rebellion on his chest. Like, that's a thing that's permanently going to be there. And he knows what that means. So, turns on the hologram, learns what he can while he is eating the body of Shiva, gaining some form of strength from it, and also learning about the world around him. Izuku, at this point, does not have a name. His hair, I'm gonna say, is still green. And, to be honest, he doesn't really know what he's going to do. But, yeah. I'm going to say for a couple years. Because, no, rewind it. I'm going to say that Shiva basically left a file on Inko, on, like, where she lived and all that other shit. Now, this was a couple weeks after the accident. And, well, after the gruesome thing that happened to Inko. And at this point, that's when they realize she very much did give birth. Which does not really come up to anything. Like, and they tell Inko about this, and she remembers the pain that she felt after she passed out. They didn't really fuck with her at all after that, which she found odd because she was like getting poked and prodded like damn near every day that she was there. But yeah, no. When Izuku finally thinks, like, okay, I think I have some idea on what I need to do. So, okay. According to this now very dead lady, I could make my age represent what I actually am. Okay, I know I'm gonna need like 2 things. More like 1. And yeah, I know what to do. Izuku begins looking for a way out of this corridor, which, after about another week, he moves rocks. And he is able to get him out. Get it out of the way. So, I'm going to say at this point, it's about nighttime. We're going to go forward a couple years. About 2 after the incident. She has been unable to have children ever since that incident with the insectacons. So Inko is heartbroken. Hasashi does comfort her the best that he can from the other side of a phone. But yeah. One day, it's late at night. I'm gonna say that a baby would appear on Inko's doorstep. And this is how he was able to do this. Since Izuku, by this point, and yes, I know I'm kind of giving him some bullshit powers, but he's technically a machine in all faculties. At this point, he is a machine. Izuku, yes, he is partially organic, but he is a machine. So he is able to reconfigure himself into about like a baby. And I mean like a baby, a actual like I was born 4 days ago, maybe 2 weeks. And they didn't want me and they left me here. So that's basically what Izuku did, just kind of swaddled himself up, fucking went to Inko's door, fucking rang the doorbell, immediately just had all this shit happen. He transformed, swaddled himself, and started crying. Crying so he can make some form of like, okay, I need to make this look believable. So, when Inko opens the door, she looks around, she sees a fucking child there. And to be honest, she's like still in the stage of grief to where like, what happened to my baby? She wouldn't really think about it too much. She wouldn't hesitate to help a crying child literally on her fucking doorstep. So, Izuku is hers. His plan worked. Working off of human sympathy for children. It paid off. So this is technically his biological mother, which he begins to turn back his age, like turn on his aging so he can naturally age like a regular person. She almost immediately signs papers to adopt Izuku. To say, no, this is my son. And Hasashi gets the news that she adopted a child. He was fine with it. Hasashi does coming back a lot more in this timeline. Because the economy's doing pretty fucking good. Like, in Japan. So yeah. It's pretty damn good. It's fucking great. But yeah. When it comes down to Izuku growing up, he does meet Katsuki. He does not fuck with him. Like, as soon as his quirk came in, which, like, people just assumed, oh, he's like a mutation baby. He has mutation quirks. That's probably why he got left out. Like, kind of got adopted. But yeah, no one really knows that he got adopted. He looks a lot like Inko. So, yeah, Inko doesn't really have to say anything to anyone about him being adopted unless it's like him having trauma. And she's never gonna fucking tell him. Because that's her fucking son. It's like, nah. This is my baby now. But yeah. this is how I'm gonna end it. And like I said, if you want the backstory of how this started, watch my Decepticon story. Because it's actually relevant in this. So I hope all of you have a wonderful day. And yeah, peace.